Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about all things financial literacy. And today we're going to be discussing how you can make $100,000 or more using your business credit. And we're going to do this in probably the next 4 to 5 months. You guys had a positive response to the previous video that I made where we talked about making $100,000 within 1 year. So I wanted to give you some insight on the next thing that I'm going to be doing and why I have been stacking my business credit cards over the last 7 to 8 months. And with that being said, you can do this exact same thing. And even if you're not able to do it right now, you'll at least have an idea of what you should be looking out for next year or even in the next few months if an opportunity arises for you to do this exact same process. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, before we even talk about exactly what this is and what we're going to be doing, you want to make sure that you're being responsible. So this method that I'm going to use is me using business credit in order to basically leverage debt to make money. Now, the only reason why I'm doing this is because I have the money to pay this back at least 4 times over if it were to fail or for whatever reason, if I wasn't able to make any money. So for me, there's very, very minimal risk. There's a lot of upside. So my recommendation is if you're looking to use business credit to make money, you need to make sure that you can pay off whatever balance you're using and it would not be any strain on you to do so. If you cannot do that, don't get a $10,000 business credit card and then spend $10,000 to potentially make money, but you do not have the means to pay that back if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, the plan fails, it takes longer than what you can feasibly afford. Don't do it. I'm not recommending that. Anytime that we're doing anything on this channel, I'm always recommending you be responsible. You take calculated risk with high potential upside with very minimal risk to the downside, or at the very least, again, you're making sure that it's very calculated. Our collective efforts are not just about meeting goals. They are a testament to our shared responsibility in shaping a better future. So we're not just here to make a particular amount of money. We are here to make sure that we're learning skills that we can pass on to other people, family, friends, and making sure that they are able to handle everything responsibly as well. So in the future, they're able to do the exact same things that we're going to be doing here and make money without the risk of capitulation, essentially going completely into a deficit and putting themselves into a bigger hole. So yeah, once again, making sure that we're being responsible. Now, what we're going to be talking about is something I've already mentioned on this channel, but it is Amazon retail arbitrage. If you are not familiar with retail arbitrage, it is a business model that involves buying products at a discount and reselling them for a profit. So how does this work exactly? There is a first sale doctrine that states you can resell a legally purchased product if it's in the same condition as when you bought it. So as long as you're not selling products that are, they're not new, they're used, you can resell them legally. That's what everyone does on Amazon. You do, of course, need to get permission from the brand in order to sell those. They call that ungating. I mentioned it in my Amazon video, so I'm not going to get into the details of Amazon or how that works. I have 2 very, very good videos on Amazon that you can watch. The first one is my experience with Amazon in my first year, everything that I've learned, letting you know all the pros, all the cons, and the breakdown of exactly how much money you can make, storage fee costs, things of that nature. Just a lot of things that you want to keep in mind because there will be a lot of fees associated with selling on Amazon, and I want you to be prepared for that. There's also a lot of rules. The other video goes over how to set up your Amazon store step by step. So you can watch both of those. I'll link them right here if you would like to watch those. I'll also put them at the very end of this video. Now, essentially what we're doing here is we're finding some type of good, some type of product, something that we could get. Normally it's a physical product and we could either buy it in store, we could buy it online, and then we're going to resell it on another platform, which will be Amazon. Now, for example, You might buy a toy at Walmart or something at Walmart for $5. You can then sell that same toy on Amazon if, for whatever reason, the full retail price happens to be higher for potentially, let's say, $30. After Amazon fees and everything else, you can make around $21 potentially per unit sold. That's a 4x margin. So here is my plan. I plan to spend somewhere around $30,000 potentially if I can find enough inventory, and then I plan to make a profit. If we use the same exact figures that I mentioned here, that's about a 4x margin. So you're going to make about 4 times the amount of money that you spent. So potentially, or idealistically, we would like to go from $30,000 spent, and then we'd like to make $120,000 in profit. So if you're wondering, like, okay, that's something that you've talked about, that's not anything new, why are we talking about it now? Well, there's a particular event that we're all aware of that's going on currently this month, and it is the best opportunity for you to purchase inventory, and that's going to be Black Friday. So the average discount that you can get on Black Friday is about 31%. I even grabbed a average from last year. 31% was about how much you could have gotten discounted on Black Friday. Again, that's an average of a lot of different items. There are some items that you could find that you could potentially get 80% off. It can really, get really good depending on where you're looking. This is the best opportunity for you to purchase enough inventory that can potentially last you a few months, and you'll continue to make money throughout the year. But there is a few things that you want to keep in mind. One, I personally never purchase anything that's too heavy. I never purchase anything that's too big. If you've ever sold anything on Amazon, you get charged by storage fees and you get charged by shipping, and it can be based off of the weight. So with that being said, you want to find something that is compact. It's easy for you to send off. It's not anything that's going to really cost you so much money to actually send it. So you also want to find something where it's no more than, I would say, $40 to $50, something that people can spend and they use their discretionary income. If it's too high, chances are you're not going to make as many sales. And even if you do, the returns will hurt you a little bit more. Not to mention, you probably won't see as good of a margin. You also always want to make sure whatever you're buying, you can at least make 3 times what you're selling it for. Reason being, I've seen where people try to get inventory with very tight margins. You don't know what's going to happen when you put a listing on Amazon. There's potential for other sellers to drop their prices. And if they drop their prices and you cannot meet them because you're not able to actually, hit that same number without maybe going into a deficit where you're no longer profitable, that's a big mistake that can easily make it to where, you're losing money. So just as a rule of thumb, if you've never done this before, my recommendation, watch those 2 videos that I mentioned, and you definitely want to do a lot of research before you go ahead and just take the plunge into doing this. This is a great idea, but it does take some experience, and it does take some insider knowledge of, I would say, an industry, a field, a particular product that you're familiar with. So it may take a lot of time for you to be able to actually find those things. But again, even if you're not able to do it right now, this is something that I recommend that you could do later, or buy a little bit of inventory, 5 or 10 things, just test it out, see how you like it, see if it works. And then if you do like it, maybe try it throughout the year, and maybe next Black Friday, you can scale it to where you can make a lot of money. Let's talk about some of the Black Friday discounts that they have going on right now. You can use this as a reference to potentially find things that you can sell, while you can also go to Amazon's website and you can see if these are things that people are actually purchasing. All right, so let's take a look. So this is a website that I'm going to link in the description. It's blackfriday.com. it actually shows you all of the Black Friday deals that are going on for Walmart, for Target, for Kohl's, Home Depot, Microsoft, Nordstrom, Macy's, etc. And you can go to all Black Friday ads. There's plenty of ads here. My other recommendation is looking at ads from the past few years. You can Google that and you can see Black Friday ads from like the past 5 years to give you some type of indication on what you might want to look for. So we can use a simple example and go to something like Target. Target has these deals here. You can check out all of there's Black Friday deals from 2023. If you click on this ad, Cyber Monday deals from 2023, toilets deals. They'll have everything here from Christmas to Labor Day to President's Day. Just going through these will give you a really good idea about what you should look for. Now, once you found a good deal, you're going to head over to Amazon, and then I'm going to show you exactly what we do from there. All right, now that we are on Amazon, I'm just going to go over to best sellers, because all I want to show you is how you can easily determine if a product is selling very well. So obviously these are best selling products. If you don't know, you're not going to be able to sell Apple products. You're not going to be able to sell Amazon products on Amazon. Certain listings you cannot get approved for. The reason why I'm going here is because I want you to be able to determine how well a product is selling. Again, I'm just talking as if you don't know anything about this. There's softwares that you can actually get in Google plugins like Jungle Scout that actually tell you how well a product is selling. It also will tell you how many sales you could get per month. I use all this information to determine exactly if I should actually buy this product, if it's going to sell, what are the average margins and selling prices. You'll have to do a lot of research beforehand in order to determine whether or not this is a good idea for you. But if you're brand new and you never knew anything about Amazon and you just wanted to get like the faintest idea of what's selling, go to a product and scroll all the way down to the product details. There's a code that you're going to get right here called the ASIN. You would type this into Amazon. Again, these are things that you're going to want to watch my previous video so you can know exactly what that is. But you want to look at the best sellers rank. This one is number 3 in clothing and it's number 1 in men's jeans. Now, you'll probably never have a seller's rank that's in this range. It's too low. But the lower the number, the more sales the item gets. So if I were to look at something and wanted to know that it was going to sell good, I would want something with a best sellers rank that is at least in the first 1,000 to maybe even 2,000. And then I would want the same thing for it being the number 1 in its category. The lower that number, the more sales. The more sales, the quicker that you'll be able to sell out inventory. So if you were just doing this for the first time without knowing anything about any additional softwares or plugins that you can add to get more information, this is the way that you can figure it out. And even if you didn't have things like Jungle Scout, this is a very, very good way to determine that something is selling well. I mean, I do this all the time. And then when I want to get more detail just to make sure that everything's going to be good, then I use things like Jungle Scout. You can get it for $50 a month. You can set it up with your Google Chrome. It's an extension. You just add it. It'll tell you not only how many units sell per month, it'll tell you the average price, and it'll give you the sales rank as it fluctuates. So if you buy 3,000 units of a particular item, you may say, yo, this sells 800 a month. You can then look at the other sellers on that listing. And then if there's 2 sellers, you can potentially sell, 1/3 of that. So you might potentially sell, around 250 per month. And you would know, okay, well, with this many units, if I take 250 divided by however much I have, it'll take me 4, 5, 6 months in order to make all my money. So potentially you might be getting $20,000 a month or maybe 10,000 every two weeks, whatever, until you get all of your profit. So easy way for you to tell. Again, there's plenty of videos on Amazon if you want to learn more, and you don't have to just use Amazon as a selling platform. Some people like to use eBay. This is just my preferred method because Amazon will ship the inventory for you. They do take 30% for doing that. If you wanted to learn more about Fulfilled by Merchant, You could also buy inventory and ship it yourself. I believe when everything is said and done, it ends up being very much the same as far as cost. When you don't ship with Amazon, they raise the price of shipping. So, sometimes it can make sense, sometimes it can't. You'd have to weigh the pros and cons so you know which one is better for you. But with that being said, again, I'm going to link this. This is a very, very good website. I highly recommend that you check that out. Now, the last thing I'm going to be going over with you, this is a Google spreadsheet that I made myself. I made this spreadsheet because I wanted to make a list of all of the credit cards that I have, the amounts I plan to use from each credit card, and the promotions on these. So this is the reason why I made so many videos on 0% APR cards. Reason being, there's no interest that you have to pay for a promotional set period of time. Most of these are about 1 year. So if you were to do this, you would want to make sure to get approved for business credit cards that will not report to your personal credit, so it doesn't affect your utilization. And you want to get them with good balances that you can potentially spend and not have to pay interest on. You will have to pay about 1% of whatever the balance is. So what I'm saying is, in order for me to maybe use $30,000, it might cost me $300 per month. Sometimes it's 2%, so $600, where you have to at least make the minimum payment. The minimum payment is usually 1% of whatever the balance is. So collectively for all of these, it would essentially be $300 a month for me to take care of the obligation of this debt. Now, the American Express Plum card I have on here because there is a 60-day term, which means I do not have to pay interest for 60 days. I may not use this card whatsoever. That's the reason why the balance is zero. It's not included in this 30,000. But if I wanted to, I would know this is the card I would want to pay off first. So I made this list for all the banks: American Express, Elon Financial, that's Associated Bank, Goldman Sachs, that's the GM card, Chase Inc., Wells Fargo, the Signify card, American Express Blue, Chase Unlimited Inc., U.S. Bank, the State Farm card, and First Citizens Cash Rewards card. Now, I'm not using my total limit for all of these cards except for maybe the First Citizens one. Reason being, it's the latest card that I've gotten, and notice the 0% APR promo does not expire until August 1st of 2025. So the reason why that's the best thing is because I have the most limit available on this one, and the expiration date is almost a year out. So with all of the ones that have the higher balances, they usually will have dates that go out almost a year until I have to actually have the balance paid off in full. And of course, that just makes sense, right? You'd rather put more debt onto the one that has a longer period of time to pay it, plus a higher limit. And that's kind of how I've organized these with, my Elon Financial card being due in March. This is a card where if I bought inventory now by March 31st, 2025, I would have already paid this one back. The GM card by Goldman Sachs, I would have already paid this one back by April, May, June, July, so on and so forth, right? So I would just make sure that I pay them off in this order to make sure that anyone that has a promotion that will expire will already be paid off before the one that has the longest period. You can also do different strategies like get balance transfer credit cards. So if you need to move debt over, there's a lot of Elon Financial backed cards where you can move the balance for 18 months. So if you needed more time, you could then do a balance transfer for any remaining debt and then pay off that. But if you did everything properly and you actually vetted your inventory, you looked at the volume of sales that you're getting per month, I highly doubt that you're going to be carrying this inventory for more than maybe 4 or 5 months. For me, I don't plan on carrying this inventory past summertime. I plan on this inventory being gone in at most 4 months. So by April, maybe even May, should be gone. So with that being said, you can take a look at all of these cards. Currently at the recording of this video, depending on when you're watching it, this may not be the case. All of these cards have a 0% APR promotional offer. I have a few more cards that also will have this, but These are the ones that I'm using. These are the limits that I'm using for each of the card. And as you can see, this is the total. I also have a another slide or another Google sheet, excuse me, where I keep track of all my inventory. Can't show you that because I don't know what the inventory is going to be until I buy it. I also can't show you what the inventory is even when I get it, because when I get it, it's not profitable if everyone tries to get the same thing as me. Because if I show you, then everyone's going to try to jump on the same listing, which then no one's profitable, right? But what I will do is make a second part of this video where after I buy all the inventory, I'm going to show you exactly how much I purchased, how much I expect to make, and then maybe later on next year to just make this, maybe it'll be like a trilogy. Once I sell all the inventory, I'll show you the conclusion of how much I sold, how much I made, the returns, similar to my first Amazon video, except you'll see collectively for the past few months with this particular strategy exactly what happened. And then if you want to wait for that, then you can make the determination if this is something that you might be willing to do. But again, it's a great way that you can make almost a yearly salary from about a month or 2 months worth of work, and then just maintaining your inventory levels and keeping up to date with your pricing. So I think it's very easy. I think it's very simple. It made it much easier for me personally to make money on Amazon as opposed to trying to make money year round. This was just so much easier. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you like this content and you want more videos like this, either talking about this exact same method that I'm using, or you want more videos to actually learn how to make $100,000 or more within a short period of time, drop a comment with 100K. Again, that just lets me know that you like this. Also, make sure that you smash the like button. That lets YouTube know that you like this. And then I'll continue to make more content that is similar to this for the remainder of the year. This is going to be my primary focus. And, you know, this was the whole point of me getting most of those business credit cards. So you'll probably see those videos slow down. I don't really need them as much. And you don't want to get too many cards too fast, because next year I'm going to need more 0% APR cards potentially. So, you know, you want to slow down. So I'm not going to do as many of those anymore. I'm probably going to be talking about ways just to make money for the remainder of the year. And then I'll probably talk about more stock, more trade, because that is going to be a huge focus going into next year. Hopefully, real estate will also be a huge focus going into next year. So please be on the lookout for that. And again, drop that comment if you like this video. If you want more videos like this with more detail, that lets me know. Smash the like button. That lets YouTube know. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and you have a wonderful day.